Peace, peace, family. Sorry for the wait. Silent crackheads into his caps. Let's roll that intro while we give him time to get in.
Young L on the beat.
Peace, peace, and have grace. And all as always, we're gonna keep it clean and crispy. Now we watch everybody, we keep eye on everybody, and we see that it's a lot of people out here that are going out to teach the information that we put out, and that's nice. That they make an effort at least to wake up and get past the 10% brain capacity. Now, we hear people speaking on certain things, and but we know where it come from. We know. About 4 years ago, I put out the Orion group book, breaking down what the Orion group was all about. And we see it's a lot of people, a lot of our students going out to teach. But we're gonna break it down because if you want to get what's really going down, you got to get the go to the originator. We the originator of this information. When we put it out, they said that we got it from a movie. They said that young girl that watched too much Stargate and this and that. But now the information is coming out, and people are saying that, oh yeah, well they ain't saying nothing about the young girl. They just they putting it out as if they the guys. Shit is funny. We ain't shooting no shots at nobody. We appreciate you people for trying to get the information out. But when you don't give people their credit for who put it out, you slip and fall along the way. I'm telling you. Yeah, so we hear people talking about the Asgards. Wasn't nobody talking about no Asgards besides the Stargate movie until we came out and told you that those were real beings. And then, like I say, the Asgards, who are the Asgards? The Asgards are beings that we met billions and billions of years ago in a whole nother galaxy. They are the first species of Greys before we had the Ramadian project on Mars. A lot of these people, because they don't want to use, they scared of Malachi, they scared of me. I don't know what's these people problem, but they seem like they get all the students to do all the, and that we ain't got no problem with it. Yeah, but the Asgards before they had the body, like the gray looking body, uh, they were trying. They had a different type of body that was more of a cone head type body looking, a blue cone head body. And what they was trying to do is they were trying to develop certain types of technology to ascend. And over doing this over periods of time, they original shells became defected to where their genetics were too advanced to be housed in that shell. So they needed a more advanced type shell. And that's where we came along. When I say we, at this time, we wasn't called the Riskians. We wasn't called Anarchies at this time. We wasn't called Pleiadians. The galaxy Pleiadian didn't even exist at this time. The galaxy Orion didn't even exist in this time. Um, the galaxy, a lot of the galaxies that's now talked about didn't exist at that time because all these are new galaxies, are new star systems. How do you know? Because their stars are blue stars. When a star is born, it's a hot white turn to blue, and as it begins to cool off, it goes to a red, then it goes to, I mean, well, orange, then a red, right? So it's red, white, and blue. And then the last phase of the sun is when it turns up to a red sun. Right now, your sun is getting ready to go into the last phase, couple billions of years. But Orion is blue stars. I mean, they are new. They just born a couple billion years ago. Sirius, blue star. Sirius A, it's a new star, about 40 billion years or younger. So these stars, or these star systems didn't even exist. It wasn't no Orion group when this time was going on, when the Asgards were existence. They exist. They come from a whole nother galaxy called Ida, the Ida galaxy, which is a long way, light years, billions, which they can make the jump in a short time, a day or two, because they ships fly off of a particular fuel where they extract the nucleus from inside of a cell. You know, you have the proton, the electrons, then you have a nucleus. That where they develop technology to be able to extract the nucleus and use that as a fuel source to power their ships. But going back to telling you who the Asgards is, because I heard people mention that. I heard somebody mention the Asgards, and we the people that told you about that. Besides the Stargate movie, a lot of niggas thought that was just a movie until we came along and put the Orion Group book out 4 years ago, and we was already teaching this information. Everybody that know was already with us. That we've been with us. We put it out first, and we see what's going on, even about the Akashic records and all that. We see what's going on on the major scenes with the big guys, the big wizards, and we don't got no beef with nobody. We just saying we see how it's going. Yeah, but you want the real deal? You listening to the guy that put all the shit out. They put it all together and brought it into reality when they said it was just a movie, the Stargate information. Okay, and tied it into what the master teacher was talking about. Uh, yeah, so these Asgards, they come from the Ida galaxy. And when we met them, like I say, they were trying to develop the ascension technology and they had defected their shells. And so they had to develop new shells. And we was into cloning at this time, cloning because we were coming down from the explosion. You're talking about trillions of years. where we begin to cool off and we got thrust to the to the negative side of the mirror. What that is if you take a graph and you draw across a piece of paper and draw a cross on the piece of paper, and then in the middle of the cross you put zero, and then if you go to left, you go to -1, -2. If you go to the right, you go to +1, +2. If you go up, you go to -1. So you I mean +1 up, +2. If you go down. So if you go to the left and you go down, you'll be going double negative. If you go to the up to to the left, right, you'll be going negative positive, right? If you go up to the right, you'll be going positive positive. So you get see the graph, right? So we start at 0 point, and then we begin to expand out. But we got shot to the negative side of the mirror, which is why you start at hydrogen 1, which is they say the lightest element, but it actually is the lightest element on the negative side because as you begin to go up the element chart on the left side, you begin to get heavy in elements and you add weight, right? But we already put all that out too. Go get the Big Bang, go get the Anunnaki Chronicles tapes, all these tapes. We put all this out, breaking this down. But back to the Asgards. So yeah, we in exchange for letting us live in a galaxy, because we was in search for our own galaxy to start developing new life forms. So in exchange for us helping them, they allowed us to stay in a galaxy for a couple of billions of years. And the time frames is different in different galaxies, depending on how many stars, etc. The distance, rotation speed, calculations. We stayed there for a while with these beings, and we learned from them, and they learned from us. We learned about the ascension technology, and we started helping them develop the technology at that point, the ascension technology, because we was trying to get back to the other side of the mirror, to the non-ether. We was trying to get back to the higher frequency in universe, because we got shot down from that universe once the explosion. Some of us got shot this way, some of us got shot to the other way. The ones that got shot to the positive side, they became what you known as ascended beings, and they are our ancestors because we were once all together, but a part of us got shot, broke off. Like part of us on this side went to the ascended realm, and the other part began to descend down as time went on and as time began to expand from the Big Bang. All right, so we, like I said, we was in a couple more galaxies before that, but we ended up in the outer galaxy, learned the Ascension manual technology from them, and we helped them develop it. And we still, it took us a long time before you talking about billions of years before we finally got it just like we like it, right? Because we was developing it on later on when we got to Risk. But when we left, after a while, over time, we began to get overpopulated as a family, and we had to find new places to go. So we left. I'm getting to the part where how the Orion group got set up. There wasn't no Orion group at this time, right? Orion, the star system, didn't even exist at this time. Um, so as time, because we built Cyrus. I'm gonna tell you, they are artificial stars. What you would call artificial, but I can't really say artificial. Just depends on perspectives. They are not natural born stars like some stars. Some stars are birthed naturally through a gas, two gases being accommodated and an explosion taking place. And then other stars are formed by we build them, we ignite them, we create them because we had the technology to create stars and to destroy stars, which is against galactical law. Yeah, but we end up when we overpopulated, we end up going and leaving there and went to the Pegasus galaxy. They call us the ancients. That's one name for us, for our ancestors, the ancient people, right? Before they became Anunnakis and Atlanteans and Orion group, which are the Atlanteans. Uh, so When we went to the Pegasus, we started creating species. That's when we created the insects and the bird race and the Pegasus, and some even some of the the first type of mammal type, like horse type beings. We created them like the flying, like the horse you see, they got the wings, that them like the unicorns and all that. That was stuff that we was experiment with when we was in Pegasus. And then to make a long story short, for all you people that have been following us, you know that we created the insect race, and the insect race began overpopulating more faster because they lay more eggs and they multiply faster, and they began taking over the Pegasus galaxy to where we had to eventually evacuate the Pegasus to come to the what you call in the Milky Way galaxy right now, right where we at now. Keep in mind, we're gonna put out a tape called "The Insects Are In on This." You heard it here first. If the niggas still at the insects are in on this. Even if they was to do it, they ain't gonna be able to put it out like we put it. And we ain't being cocky or nothing. We just telling the truth, man. We the people that's supposed to put this out. The insects are in on this. They in on the sugar water they call soda, and they in on the combustion engine. They still in on the combustion engine and methane gas. The way we get rid of our trash and how we don't recycle. We starting to recycle a little bit more because green beans coming in trying to clean up some of the stuff that was before we destroy the planet. But I don't want to get too sidetracked. We laid that to the Orion group book because we hear people out here talking on it, and it's all good. So we see how y'all doing it. We see how y'all doing it now. So shout out all them guys out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but so we eventually the new became Raziel became the ninth of new, and that's when we came to the Milky Way galaxy where we landed on a planet in the Centaurian star system. It's because if you look inside of the Centaurian star system and the Sagittarius star system, you'll see a few red stars. Let's go to the Google and look up all the red stars. Those stars are older than the star that we under right now because they was here. Some of them are original stars, but a lot of the blue stars you see, they just been born, not recently. Okay, so we land on a planet called we named the planet Dietra in the Centaurian star system, and then later after we excavated to see what we had in this galaxy, see what life forms were here. It was certain types of life forms here, like um, small micro, like mitochondrial type cells, bacterias, and things, and algae living under the water because these planets were four huge planets in this solar system. Those planets were Tiamat, Saturn, Jupiter, and the other one was called Meldick, which got destroyed by Nuru later on. Right, the other planets were designed and put here, like Pluto and all the rest of them. Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, all them planets got designed later, right, by the Anunnakis, but they weren't called Anunnakis at this time. Some of them, they was like three different. It was a whole bunch of groups. They were splitting up into families. One of them were called the Diners. The diners, and keep in mind what a diner is all about. When the person is going to dine, they're going to eat something. We don't want to get too creepy. We don't want to gross you out, right? Because it's people that eat bugs. Extraterrestrials will eat insects. Yeah, so we came here. Then we set up on Saturn and made there our home base, and then we began to branch out from there. And then we began to see reptilian. Mother Hoover began to seed Meldeck with reptilian seeds based off of drafting them out of the bird beans. Keep in mind, birds lay eggs. Reptilians lay eggs. It's a connection. Not every creature lay their eggs outside of their shell. The human carry their egg inside of the shell. inside of the body for 9 months, while the reptilian chicken and the birds they put there in a nest and hatch them. So keep that in mind that it's a connection between the birds and reptilians because the reptilian come out of the birds. The Mother Hula dropped them out of the birds, and then she crossbred them back with the birds to make now flying serpent type creatures who later migrated to the mic. They were started out here on Meldic and Tiamat, this planet. So the Dragonians they originate from this galaxy, from this solar system, from Titan, from the Moon, some of them, and then Tiamat and Meldic, which also they refer to as Vulcan or Vulcan, which got destroyed. Okay, so hey, shout out, hey, much love to my brother Mark Cooper and his family, man. Shout out Mark Cooper. Shout out my brother Randy Christian, man. Shout out the fourth elder, right? Shout out my brother Mark Cooper, man. Love my brother Atun, right? He one of the high priests of the that's one of the overseers here, watching everything. Hey, so yeah, we see y'all see what's going on, man. Y'all see how they jocking the young elder, but we got to come clean it up, man. We got to give you the real deal because everybody else they just they talking and like the ascension stuff, they haven't even caught on to that yet. They starting to get on to that because the ascension stuff is part of the Orion group because the Orion group is the ones who finally developed the ascension technology. And the Orion group really is the same, which is they anarchies too. They really children of the anarchy. We about to get into that though. Okay, so we wheeling our way up to that. So eventually, like to say, Mother Hoover created the reptilians. She eventually saw that how powerful her military was because she had the ground army first, then she had navy, which was the water beings like the Meldekians and beings that these taphole or ninja turtle looking beings that live underwater on Meldic, and then she had created the flying the air force, right? Now these beings got wings, these dragon reptilian military who was supposed to fight against our threat because like it's like I say, we were being overpopulated by the insects. So the insects started. The reptilians were supposed to first the birds were supposed to countermeasure the insects. That's why on your planet now the whole storyline plays out right here on your planet in Mother Nature. The birds eat the insects and the worms. They get up and eat the insects and the worms. And then they were these these insects were outnumbering so fast that we couldn't keep the balance. So the plan was to create the reptilians who were more because the birds were more neutral beings. They weren't aggressive enough to fight to fight the force of these disagreeable insects. So the reptilians were brought about to create another the reptilians and later on the nomos. They eat insects too. The reptilians eat insects and the nomos eat insects. Fish come up out of the water to eat the insects. And that's why you use crickets and things to try to catch fish because they eat the nomos was part of that food chain to control the insects. And then the reptilians, right? But speed that up, boom, boom. So the reptilians were supposed to countermeasure the back door and help the birds fight against the war in the galaxy against the insects that were overpopulated. This was going fine, and we eventually defeated the insects and pushed them to the Andromedans galaxy. Some of them, the ones that were bad, they end up migrating to the Andromedans galaxy, right, which is 2.3 million light years away. 1 light year is 6 trillion miles rounded off, right? And so once the war had calmed down, this was a war before the war in Michael and his angels in Revelations chapter 7. This way before that. Way before that was even thought of. In so far as the third dimensional plane, right? But so once Mother Hoover saw how power she and how she had control of these reptilians military, she decided, well, since I the well, the main scientist, because she was the chief scientist to the fifth Anu, which is Anu's father, which is because they say he was the fifth Anu, and then supposedly it passed to three or four other guys. We broke that down too, but before Anu got it. But the fifth Anu had a chief scientist, which was Mother Huber at the time, going all the way back to when they was in Pegasus. Just like Mother Ninti is Anu's chief scientist, um, Mother Huber is a news sister, older sister, who is Anshaw's daughter. Like I say, his chief scientist was over all the create different creations and plants and shit. And once she saw that how powerful her military was, she said, "You know what? I should be in charge. I should be the Anu. A woman should be in charge. You know, a feminine energy should be in charge." And why is this study getting passed down to men when the women been controlling this? That's why the best scientists on the planet is Nubian women, because it goes all the way back to Mother Ninti, all the way back to Mother Huber, the best Nubian scientists. We get to the Orion group part, like we're building you up to that, right? Because people they missing this part, but hopefully they listen to this tape and it'll give them more on to what they say they channeling and whatever they doing, right? Uh, So you because these are our people, these are our family you're talking about when you say the Orion group. Okay. Uh keep on going. Where were we? Yeah, so Mother Hubert decided she wanted to take over and use her military to do it. So she had to come up with a scheme and scam to start a war against us and the reptilians. Now it's getting up to the part where Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, the reptilians and they people, right? Um, so we go up to at first they looked at these beings, they're very vicious and very scary looking. If you're not, if you on a lower vibration, they were really scared of the pants, shoes, and everything off of you, these beings, because they materialize and show you what they really look like. They look like real dragons, bumps, they smell like urine, and they real, that's the look, like it'll scare the shit out of you, literally. But these being when we was living on Saturn, Mother Hoover wanted to stage an invasion on Saturn so they can invade us. But she couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because these beings, we can see what they look like, and we can tell we didn't trust them. So they wasn't allowed on our planet in the form that they look like. So Mother Hoover disguised the plan. She's going to create them avatars, right? And by mixing these beings with these Hindu beings. And so she started crossbreeding. She started like a crossbreed or a form on Pluto and on Titan to start breeding Hindu humanoid looking beings with the reptilian Dragonian beings so that they can have a humanoid looking car. And then this spins up to the beings you call the Vulcans, which is Tynush and Hala now. Hala actually is another species, really in itself. He part Anunnaki. See, Hala is part of that Dragonian humanoid Hindu species, and then he part Dragonian. I mean, part Anunnaki from his mother's side. The beings that got the Willow's peaks, they part Anunnaki. These are the beings that I showed you, but they was using on Bumpy Johnson. The dude, there was the real plug from these Corsicans, really the Moors, the 200 fallen niggas. We'll get into that, right? Because Hala was one of the leaders of that clan. And Hala is Satuk, is connected. When we get down to that part, the Orion group part. So, hey, shout out my brother Sunrise, man, in the building. Peace. Peace. And I should, brother. Yeah, so because we hear people like I say, Sunrise, you see what they're doing out here, Sunrise. You was with us in the beginning. You know who put the shit out first. The Orion group. They said that it was our movie and they was making fun of me, man. Now everybody putting it out. Shout out Fourth Iller. Not now everybody putting it out. Yeah, so hey Hakeem, don't come in here with that. Don't come on, go back in there. Yeah, because he got that other phone, it's too loud. Um I'll be in there in a minute. Yeah, so speeding up to the point. Speeding up to the point. She eventually got these beings to look humanoid so they could come amongst us. They came in amongst us on Saturn first. And then later on they found their way to Riz. I got to speak. It's really a long story, but I'm trying to just shorten it up. Like all this information, if you go back and check out all our tapes, like all the galactical tapes, you will see this storyline play out. So we give you different perspectives of it though. But we speeding up to the Orion group, how the Orion group part come. Now, once before this war took place, when they invaded Saturn, a new went around and started creating different star systems. One of those, one of the main star systems we created and started playing life was the Lyra galaxy, which we call Elion. We call this galaxy Elion. They refer to it as the galaxy Lyra, and they tell you that all humans originated from this galaxy, right? From the Lyra galaxy, the humanoid type beings, right? Which is partially true. Partially true. Um, yeah, but eventually they came to our planet, these Dragonian humanoid looking beings, and caused the if I would play it out, you can read the holy tablets in the links. You can read some of this storyline in the holy tablets by Dr. Malachi Z. York, our master teacher. You can read it free in the descriptions, the link to the holy tablets. You got pictures and everything in there. Okay. They eventually come to our planet and use aerosol bombs to blow holes in our ozone layer. We had three stars at the time, and how it rotated was sophisticated, and it begins causing a certain type of disease. Because at this time we were using the ascension equipment that we had started developing way back when we met the Asgards to try to get up back to the other side of the mirror, and we had almost developed it before they blew a hole in the ozone layer. This caused, being that we was using this machine when they blew the hole in the ozone layer, it caused the people who were using in the state of the ascension process, it caused a defect just like it did when the Asgards were trying to do it. I don't know exactly what caused. Like, well, I know that some kind of way the Asgards got a defection in anything, but ours was caused by the three suns radiation coming in. Boom. And from this part, speed up to the 1/3 of the galactical beings chose to join on with these Dragonian beings, right? And they chose to fight against us. To make a long story short, speeding all the way up to where we needed to get the shout out Lenny, man. No, no. When you talk about the hump, talking about the Lulu Amalus, she wasn't part of that group. The only people that was part of that experiment was Ningazita, Tahuti, Inky, Mother Ninti, a few of their helpers, and I think I want to say Ariska Gale and Nergal stepped in later to put a little extra critiques on it. But the main people were Inky and Mother Ninti and Nergal, I mean, and Ningazita, who is Tahuti, which is Inky's son, right? Okay. So, but going back to like the first humanoid body types were developed by us, going all the way back to the Asgards. That's when we started developing the first types of shells. That's why the gray looking shells. That's why Baba told you that if you study the gray genetics is in humans. Because if you look at a baby in its first 3 months in the development stage, you can see the gray. Baba already pointed that out. You can see the gray in the development stage of these. Like you got 23 different races: plant, reptilian. You got gray. All these genetics is put together to create this human car. But I'm trying to get to the Orion group because we got about 30 minutes. We can try to cram all this in. It's a lot. Shade shifters are yeah, Dragon. Any being that's using 40% of their brain capacity can shade shift. Go back and watch the movie Lucy. Once she was able to use 40% of her brain capacity, she was able to shade shift and change her appearance. So the reptilians that can use 40%, they're about around 40%. That's probably like the max because they can't develop uh as good as humans, which is why they want the human body. They want your body because your body can ascend. Your spiritual essence into how it's set up in this time can ascend. That's why we so being watched and and all this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like Tahuti's just a title. Murdoch was the first one to have it, and then Gazeta, his little brother, came to Tahuti. He's actually the Tahuti that did the Emerald tablets and all of it. And when the master teacher was here, he used to tell us that that he could channel this being through him, and he put out a book called the Secret Scrolls of Tahuti. A lot of stuff about Tahuti, and he was channeling it. Nagazita, who was Inky's brother. I mean Inky's son. He's Inky's son, not the baby. The baby is Asar. Osiris is the Inky's baby. Well, he's not the baby because Inky had other kids, but he like the young baby Anunnakis. They're considered one of the Anunnakis that were born on Earth. Oh yeah, so we get into the Orion group shit, man, because I hear people, like I say, so speed it up to the Anunnakis having to come here to get gold. Like I told niggas, that's what God really means. They say God is dollar backwards. Yeah, we heard that. But God is gold, all, and dope, man, because that's what Ink and them came to get. Gold, all, and dope. Or gold, all, and diamonds. You know? So speed it up to the Anunnakis coming to get the gold. Inky and Enlil into it. That all breaks out. They Enlil, Nana. I heard somebody say, "Oh yeah, well, man, you wrong. Nanar is Inky's son. No, Nanar is not Inky's son. Nanar is Enlil's son. Nanar had another brother named Adad, who became known as Bel, which is a title. Lord, Master, Lord of the the agriculture is what he was over because he the one that was using the crop duster. Enlil sent him to use the crop duster on niggas. Enlil had them crop dusting niggas. He had them starving niggas out. He had them drying up rivers. They had this technology back then. These Anunnakis. They got way more advanced shit now. Yeah, but like I said, we're speeding up to the Orion group. Eventually, a war broke out where Enlil's side, and along with Nergal, who was Murdoch's brother. Keep in mind, Murdoch becomes Ra. Murdoch becomes Ra. Murdoch, the Orion group starts with Inky, who becomes Ptah. Ptah is the oldest member of the Orion group. You know what I'm saying? And he's Inky. That's Inky. Inky is the Anunnaki. That's a new son. But like I say, he translated into Ptah in ancient Kemet. He birthed out of the primordial waters. Why they say that? Because Inky, these beings, these Anunnakis knew how to breed avatars or shells or bodies in tubes, like you see on the Avatar movie. So they started adopting some of these Twyman and some of these different species, like the Sandsman, after they did the Animal Project, and started adopting certain species and making avatars. And one of the first avatars that Inky took, like as far as like the tribes that were here, was a Twyman. And he became known as Ptah. And he went amongst the Twyman and started teaching them different things and became their leader. And when the storm came, when the planet was calamity came when a whole bunch of stars, or they say stars, but it's really like meteorites shower happened. They went under. Inky was the one that took the Twyman underground so they could survive under the name Ptah, and they say that he come out of the primordial waters because, like I say, he come out of he a tube. They come out of tubes. These avatars, and the Anunnakis know how to transfer their consciousness to one shell to the next, and they don't even need a machine to do it. Murdoch is Enlil's son. Nah, yeah, Murdoch. Yeah, see, look, okay, I'm gonna tell you why he said that. Billy Carson said that Murdoch is Enlil's son because they both disagreeable. All right, I'm gonna tell you why he said that and why he right because also Enlil had another son named Ninurtu, right? Ninurtu started using Murdoch's name so that when he went amongst Murdoch's people, they'll think that he Murdoch because these humans they were slow, right? So when a god appeared to them, a god can say, "Oh, I'm this dude," and and if you don't want to believe, I'm gonna strike you down right there. So it's like this: Murdoch was taking over and ruling, but Ninurtu was against Murdoch. So he would come and disguise himself as Murdoch and say that he Murdoch, just like Lelu would come and say that he came and told the people of Earth that I'm Anu, and he really was Anu's brother. So I can understand why Billy Carson would say that Enlil's son was Murdoch too, because like I say, Ninurtu used the title Murdoch, or used that Murdoch name to go around and push his own agenda against Murdoch. Yeah, so it's two Murdochs. You got Murdoch Inky's son, right, who becomes Ra, or the angel Michael. And you got Bible guys who don't know what the heck we're talking about right now. It comes the angel Michael in your Bible, or the angel who fought against the dragon. It becomes Murdoch, Ra, and then it becomes Atun Ray, Amun Ray. All them names it applies to Ra, who is Murdoch, who actually is who they call a Nimrod too. He was the one that was building the tower. He wasn't building no tower. He was building Stargate to try to get up into heaven, get back up into heaven. And Enlil wanted to stop him because he's talking about, are you trying to take over, get past? Enlil didn't want nobody getting past him, right? So yeah, Ninurtu did use the title Murdoch. So I think that's what he's talking about. At least we hope that's what he's talking about because that's the truth. Ninurtu they called himself Murdoch at one point. And Tahuti, he was using that title too. Try to throw off the other side of the family. Yeah, that's right, Lenny. That's right, Lenny. He was the plug, the Persian plug. He the one that had that white girl on deck. And these niggas had yachts. They were moving that shit on yachts, thousands of years ago. All right, so we getting up to the Orion group because we got about 20 minutes left. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to tell you. So, okay, so after the Anunnakis got to getting the gold, and the gold operation is still going on, but the Anunnakis got banned because they broke galactic law by stepping in. They eventually got banned to deal with the planet. But it was a group who chose to incarnate with the planet and be a part of this planet, and that was Inky, the Inky side of the family. The Inky side of the family includes the four main brothers. The oldest son being Murdoch, the next son being Nergal, the next son being Ningazita, and the other son being Osiris or Seer, right? Or Sar, right? Who like I say, they call him Osiris, right? And Haru's dad, Inanna's husband, who also he's referred to in ancient Sumerian culture as Damuzi, right? So they try to apply that to Tammuz. Tamuzi is Tammuz's father. Dammuz is Osiris, right? That's another name for him, as they call him, right? Just like Inanna, Isis, Aset, it's the same person, right? Then Mother Hathor, Mother Ninti, all that's the same person. Ninti is Anu's daughter. Hathor is Anu's daughter. I think we might have put in the book that she was connected to Ra, right, as being Ra's daughter. Because you got to keep in mind, once we start incarnating on the planet, some of y'all might incarnate as like Like your son now might be your granddad or your uncle from your past generations. They reincarnate through your blood, through your bloodline. So right now, my son Hakeem is my granddad. He looked like him, he bow-legged like him, he act like him, he talk like him, he goofy like him. I mean, he just my granddad all over again. I'm telling you. So people reincarnate through us. That's right. Shout out Bill. Yeah, you may want to take. Well, Bill is not a bad name, really. It's just they made it. Bill is really a title, like that means Lord. But Bill could be looked at as a bad guy. This is that time point. People. Yeah. So keep in mind these anarchies can move outside of time. So when you talk about different time frames, it could be millions of years spaced out in between all this time that I'm telling you, right? But what happens is they end up breaking galactical law. They had to leave. Different groups incarnated, uh, and then they had to leave. They had to leave, and then we went back to Risk, right? But keep in mind, at this time, Risk was still being repaired. And so we had to start evacuating Risk. This is I'm going to tell you how the Orion group came about. Now, at this time, we had already designed Orion. And Orion, what it was an international intake for the galaxy. It's really the capital. It's two capitals on this side. One capital, the main capital is Sirius. The next main capital is Orion. Orion is the capital of this galaxy. And it's like an intake for many different species around the galaxy to come in and get intake to this side of the 2,000 year light span of this side of the galaxy in this district. So they go to Orion. It's a lot of when this started, when Orion first got set up, Anu had put his brother in charge of Orion. His name is Alelu. And at this time he was part Nomos. Well, no, he wasn't part Nomos at this time. He was just in anarchy. He had sliced his DNA later as he got fired. He ended up getting fired from he ended up getting fired by Anu and getting kicked out of Orion because then that's when he went to Cyrus and sliced his DNA with the Nomos beings. But before then he was in Orion over the intake center with all these beings. And then when we first opened this place up in Orion, different groups were coming from all over the galaxy to make treaties with each other, and some of them end up mixing and intermingling, meaning like reptilians mixing with other species, this Hindus mixing with harsh beings. Now you got centaurians, or no, the different species begin to crossbreed as they came to Orion. So you got many different species there. All right, and then two, going back to what I said, when Riz was still damaged and still being repaired. So all the 19 families, we had to start evacuating Elium. And all of us went separate ways. Some of the people went to Pleiadian galaxy. Some of the people went to the Pleiadian galaxy. They became known as the Pleiadians. And they were dark-skinned people, not these Nartics that they show you now, calling themselves Ashtar Command. Ashtar Command wasn't even around at this point. They come by later by Tups. They also avatars for Alelu, the people that was on Neptune when the crash happened. These Ashtar Command Nordic. They're not even Pleiadians really. They actually was called a nobody people before then. Right? So some of them went to Pleiades, some of them went to Arcturus, some of them went to Orion. The people that went to Orion was Inky's side of the family, and they became known later as the Orion group, right? Which is not really the original name of that. This is all Greek. We talking in Greek, but we trying to tell you that the Moors, 200 following them niggas started the Greek shit, the Latin, right? We'll get into that too, but so they became known as the Orion group. When we got to Orion, it was 3 stars it's more than 3 stars in Orion belt. If you look at Orion's belt, it looked like 3 stars, but those actually are, one got 3 stars rotating and another got like 4 stars rotating. So it's really 9 stars. It's really like 9 stars in Orion's belt. because they really quadruple star systems. We already showed that. You go back down, probably like about 2-3 years ago, we put out a tape called "Field Trip to Orion," where we take you there and show you on this telescope, the big huge telescope, Hubble telescope, and we show you the 9 stars in Orion's belt, and then we show you that it's 9 huge planets rotating the center star that's in Orion's belt. The center star got 9 huge planets rotating, and we landed and took over and started developing right there on those planets as Inkies, and we started developing more technology. At this point, it was a separation between the families. So Enlil family wasn't there to sit there and be in competition with us. That's why this planet has got so much competition. That's why they got these teams battling each other, and everybody want to battle, because that goes back to Enlil family versus Inky family battling each other, always in competition. But at this point, the competition got cut off after we got separated, and so we was left to ourselves to start developing. And over this time, we developed the Stargate technology in Orion. We developed the sarcophagus, which was a technology that they show you in Stargate, where we can lay in and it can heal you and preserve your life. And then we developed certain new types of ships, pyramid type ships, right? And then we got put to a halt, and we was wondering why we got put to a halt in our development, why we hit a wall. And then I'll talk about it in this book right here. It's called, my wife got it back there. It's called The Return of Our Nana. She tell you about that we hit a wall when we got to Orion. And this wall, we wanted to know why it was blocking us from going higher and ascended higher in technology. And this right here, right before we completely developed the ascension technology. Because we had eventually, Inky side developed it and finished the development with the help of Murdoch, Tahuti, and then Gazeta, and Inky. They ended up developing it with Mother Ninti, right? So we went to the Galactic Council, and let's keep in mind, we are the Orion Council. It's a council that's higher than the Orion Council, which is the higher Galactic Council. We went to them and asked them why are we being shut down? Why are we being blocked to go higher? And they said that because it goes all the way back to what our ancestors did on the planet Earth when we stepped in and upgraded the Homo erectus, or the Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. And we got to go back and fix that, because we got to go back and teach them everything we know. So that started the journey of us to come back to Earth, right? And keep in mind, the pyramids were already here at this time, because it goes all the way back to when Ningazita and the pole shift happened, when Ningazita put weights all over the planet. These went around getting the humans, and with the help of the technology they had, to build these pyramids, which is really weights, like on a tire. You know, a tire, when you'll get brand new tires on your car, you got to get it balanced, right? So it don't shake. So they put weights in strategic locations to keep it from wobbling, right? These tires. So Earth was wobbling because Earth is going 1,000 and some miles an hour, 1,037 and 1/3 mile an hour, right? Which take 24 hours to do that, because everybody like, it's going that fast. It's like speeding like a, you know. But so Inky side decided to come back to Earth, and that's when we started teaching. That's when we started setting up the Atlantis. Tahuti set up Atlantis. But first, when we came back to Earth, we didn't come to the surface. We came to the center of the Earth and set up first. We set up the halls of Amenti. Amenti is another name for Murdoch. Amen. Ra. And the reason why he had the T attached to it, because the T's is the oldest family. You got do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The last do ain't there. And those is the Jane Does and John Does, the people, you know, those that look like us, they ain't us. Enlil seed who hide in the background and nobody know who they is. Right? We just see their black hand. We see, but Rod know who Rod that called them out. You know what I'm saying? Rod that pointed them niggas out. The black hand under the white robe. Yeah, then you got T's. as in Tahuti, as in Mother Ninti, right? As in, and you got the keys. It's supposed to, the dough. They replaced. No, there's two doughs on there. That dough, one of them doughs is supposed to be key, because the key is older than the T's. So it's supposed to be key T Ray, key T Ray, right? So the keys are the oldest, like an E, right? And then after that, you got the T's. Like I said, broke it down to who T. Then you got the rays, as in Amun Ray, Atun Ray. All you niggas with Ray A, you know, rays of the sun behind your name. So these are all, because we all sound coming from the drum, we all sound a part of that sound, which is the ultimate sound in the universe. But yeah. We don't want to go too heavy on them. Fourth, I know you. Fourth, everybody that been with us, they up to speed. Fourth, I know you up to speed. Sunrise, Carter, Black Nine, Black P9 Black. I know y'all up to speed, man. Anarchy, God. I know it's Carter 9000. I know he been with us. He know what he up to speed. Yeah. What I was gonna say, okay. So yeah, we start developing schools in the center of the earth first, the T's. Because now we at first we were keys, we came back as T's, and then our children were the rays. The T's are the rays of the children. I mean, the children of the T's is the rays, like Amun Ray, all these right here, like that, right? So we started teaching, sent up the schools to who he started teaching all the science and alchemy and all that, going around. He traveled on a boat all around because we had yachts. We had yachts. So Hootie had on the yacht. They had to paint the picture because they want to keep you in this primitive state. So they want to paint you in a picture that Tahuti did. He was in a paddle boat. No, Tahuti didn't have no. Man, you think we had ancient technology? You think we was in a damn paddle boat? Come on, man, paddling around the ocean. Come on, man. You think Tahuti paddled around the ocean in a paddle boat? Come on, man. Use more. These people had yachts, and we showed you that on the pictures of the picture of the UFOs, the all the stuff that's on the wall in ancient Kemet. We already pointed that out. Okay. So yeah. So we Tahuti was going around in the yacht setting up all these cities, these central points. Like right now in the United States, where you got all the major cities like Chi-Town, Detroit, Miami. Tahuti was going to all these cities. And I bet you if they really uncover shit, especially in Philadelphia, they'll begin to show you pyramids, ancient Egyptian artifacts in all those cities. Why is ancient Egyptian artifacts in those cities? And look, I'm about to get ready to do a tape. Now I ain't gonna tell niggas what that tape I'm about to do. I'm gonna do it today. And then watch everybody follow suit. I'm gonna do a tape today. I ain't gonna tell you what the name of it is, but it's gonna be very important to what I'm about to tell you now about the ancient Egyptian artifacts found in the Grand Canyon. And I got that shit gonna go way deeper than what everybody else is talking about. But Tahuti was all over here. This was ancient Kemet as well. The same information that was taught in ancient Kemet was brought down by Tahuti and his brother Asar. Asar really was a little different than Tahuti, but he was similar. Asar just was he didn't look down on the humans. He actually taught the humans how to do things that they know, and that's what made Satuk mad at him and want to kill him. He taught all the humans how to do. That's why he's part of the Orion group. Here niggas talking about all make contact with this man. Come on, you know who the leaders? It's not. It is the Council of Nine, but the people that y'all talking about, not even the leaders. And you talking about the people and the person that you mentioned. You really talking about Ma'at. Ma'at is the ascended master over one of the ascended masters in inking them over the Orion group on the council of the Council of Orion. But it's a council that's higher than the Orion group that's higher than us. You know what I'm saying? But our job as the Orion group was to come back here and establish and fix everything, align the planet, start teaching the people and getting them back to where we're trying to get them now. Because we are the Natharus. We are the Sabines. The Sabines, those who gonna have the last say so on whether the humans take control of their planet or not. Yeah, so when you go, hey, if you didn't, if you don't got the Orion group book, man, we got that Orion group book for $20 donation to the Cash App. But you may well go and get all 8 books for $45. donation to the Cash App, we'll send you all books. But the stuff that they talking about the Orion Group book, I put the date, I put the time stamp in the book when I wrote the book. It's like 4 or 5 years old. The stuff that they coming out with now, we already put it out. Everybody that was in them classes, they already got all that. They are we light years ahead of the game. That's all we saying. We light years ahead of the game. The students of Malachi is light years ahead of the game. And who am I? I'm Haru. I ain't Jesus, nigga. I'm Haru. Anybody come and tell you they Jesus, don't believe him. I'm Haru, nigga. And I can prove it by I can prove it by direct bloodline that I'm Haru. My mother's name is Stephanie Diane Williams. I can show you my birth certificate. Stephanie Diane Williams. Now that name might go over your head, but those who know, they know what Diane means. They know what Stephanie means, and they know who the Williams are. We are the Afar people. We go all the way back to the tribe of Dan. We are the Watutsis. We are the beings who came down from Nubaru. Yeah, but we are the so the Watutsis are part of that Orion group. Actually, and they were green looking. So when they first came down, so actually Osiris, all them will be part of the Watusi group. And the Watusis can be considered as Anunnaki because they got sent down to Earth from Nubaru. So it's different species of Anunnakis covered that part too. We gotta get up out of here, man. We might do a part 2 on this because there's a lot more to go over on that, man. On that Orion group thing, because we gotta get down into where you Amen and all that starts setting up the stuff over in ancient Kemet. But man, we just want to hope y'all got a quick update. That was the overlay of the story. So we hope that the brothers that was out that are putting the information out, that they got the whole storyline down, right? And so they can, when they tell the people, they could give them a full broad. I wish that these guys would bring me on their show. I don't know. Maybe they don't like me or they scared of me. I don't know, man. It really don't matter to me because we getting it over here too. So we good. We straight. Hey, shout out my brother Mark Cooper, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Peace and have grease. Hotep, salam alaikum, assalamu alaikum. You know what I'm saying? To you all. We out. Wadu.